Alrighty, guys, and thanks to an extreme amount of last-second absurdity in that Celtics T-Wolves game last night, we're now 16-2 in our last 18 board member tier package bets on my website. But if you want to see a video breakdown of every single one of my personal sports bets here today, you can do that right now by becoming a board member on my website. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my college basketball free pick video here today for Thursday, March 16th, 2023. Happy March Madness, guys. The madness begins today. Well, actually began a few days ago. But like the actual teams we care about, well, there were a few teams we cared about as well. But anyway, the madness itself starts today. And of course, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. And once again, guys, I'm 16-2 in my last 18 board member tier package bets on that site. And not only do board members get access to my board member podcast every single day, you also get access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day until April 1st. It's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. And what I do on patreon.com/BrockPage is I actually share with you which one of these free picks on these videos that I'm actually betting on personally. I currently have over 560 members who are signed up and active on my website right now. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the West Virginia-Maryland game, 12:15 Eastern tip-off at the Legacy Arena. West Virginia's -3, totals 137. Now, the Mountaineers covered in 5 out of their last 6. Covers against the likes of K-State, Iowa State, and Kansas. Now, the Mountaineers are also a top 35 defensive rebounding team. Trey Mitchell has 20 blocks on the season along with 26 steals. He's also second on the team in scoring. Meanwhile, Eric Stevenson, he scores 15.5 points a game, and he drills nearly 40% of his long balls. Now, they're facing a Maryland team on the other side who lost 3 out of their last 4, and they average only 64 points a game in that short span. And out of 16 contests this year away from the Xfinity Center, the Terps got the W only 5 times. That includes a neutral site contest as well. Now, total-wise, Maryland saw their last 4 straight stay under the number. They're also 13-3 to the under in all of their games away from campus. Give me West Virginia -3, under 137. Next game, Furman, Virginia, 12:40 p.m. East. The Virginia Cavaliers are -5, totals 132. Now, the Cavs are in the top 10 in defensive points per game. That's top 10 in the entire country. They're giving up only 60 points per contest for the entire season. Armand Franklin, he has 30 steals on the year and a dozen blocks. He's also leading the roster in points. Meanwhile, Jaden Gardner and Kihei Clark, they're averaging double-digit points a game. Now, they're facing a Furman team who failed to cover recently against the likes of Western Carolina, Mercer, and East Tennessee State. And when it comes to defensive play, the Paladins allowed nearly 72 points a game for the entire year. Now, total-wise, Furman saw unders against the likes of Mercer, Citadel, and Wofford. They're also 4-3 to the under in their neutral site contest this year. Meanwhile, Virginia went 6-3 to the under in their last 9 themselves. Give me Virginia -5, under 132. Next matchup, Utah State taking on Missouri, Utah State taking on Missouri, 1:40 p.m. East. Utah State's -1, totals 155.5. Now, Utah State's a top 5 3-point shooting team in the country. Stephen Ashworth makes nearly 45% of his three-pointers, and he leads the roster in points. Meanwhile, Taylor Funk and Max Shulga, they average over a dozen points a game respectively, and they also shoot it well from long range. Now, they're facing a Missouri team who was one of the worst defensive teams in the SEC. They're allowing 75 points a game. They're also in the bottom 30 in the nation in defensive boards. And in Missouri's last 10 ball games, They failed to cover against the likes of Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and South Carolina. Now, injury-wise, Ronnie DeGray and Trey Gomillion are both questionable for the Tigers. When it comes to the number, Missouri saw 3 out of their last 4 get over the total. Meanwhile, Utah State, 61% to the over for the entire season. Give me Utah State -1 over 155.5. Next breakdown, Charleston, San Diego State, 3:10 p.m. East. San Diego State's -5, totals 142. And as good as the Aztecs are defensively, they did fail to cover recently against the likes of Colorado State, New Mexico, and Fresno State. They also have a losing record against the point spread in all of their contests away from home. Now they're facing a Charleston team who's one of the more prolific scoring teams in the nation. They're actually in the top 10 in points per contest away from home. They also grab more offensive boards a game than any other team in the nation except for one. Andrzej Brazovic, he's grabbing just about 6 rebounds per contest, and he also ranks second on the team in points. Meanwhile, Ben Burnham, he's drilling nearly 45% of his shots from three-land. The Cougs actually have 5 guys on the roster who average double-digit points a game. Now, total-wise, oddly enough, San Diego State saw unders in their last 8 straight, unders against the likes of Utah State, Wyoming, and Boise. Meanwhile, Charleston saw all 6 of their neutral site contests this year stay under the total themselves. Give me College of Charleston +5, under 142. Next game, Illinois, Arkansas, 4:30 p.m. East. Arkansas is -2, totals 144.5. Now, Arkansas has played some pretty bad basketball heading into the tourney. They lost 4 out of their last 5, and they've also been pretty bad against the number. The Razorbacks failed to cover in 6 out of their last 9, and they've also been a little threat shooting the long ball all season long. And they're facing an Illinois squad who actually plays some pretty tough defense themselves. The Fighting Illini, they allow just 66 points a game, and they're limiting their competition to just 41% shooting from the field. Matthew Mayer, he has 40 blocks on the season, along with 26 steals. Meanwhile, teammate Coleman Hawkins and Dane Danger, they have 75 total blocks combined between the both of them. Now, total-wise, Illinois saw unders recently against the likes of Ohio State, Northwestern, and Indiana. Meanwhile, Arkansas saw unders against the likes of Texas A&M and Tennessee. Give me Illinois +2, under 144.5. Next game, Auburn, Iowa, 6:50 p.m. East. Auburn's -2, totals 151. Now, Auburn lost 7 out of their last 10 coming into the tournament. They also went just 6-16 in their contests away from campus. They averaged only 68 points a game in those matchups. And they were little threat shooting the deep ball, and of course that includes neutral site games as well as away games. Now they're facing an Iowa squad on the other side who's a top 20 scoring team in the nation. Chris Murray averages over 20 points per contest, along with 7 rebounds. Meanwhile, Phil Rebraca and Tony Perkins, they're scoring well over a dozen points a game respectively. When it comes to the scoring, Iowa went 60% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Auburn saw 4 out of their last 5 get over the line. Give me Iowa +2, over 151. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in the Oral Roberts-Duke game, 7:10 Eastern tip-off. The Duke Blue Devils are -5.5, totals 146. And as good as ORU is, they really don't play near the competition that Duke does, week in and week out. When it comes to rebounding the basketball, not many teams have out-rebounded the Blue Devils. They're in the top 20 in the nation in both offensive and defensive boards, respectively. Meanwhile, as a team, Duke's got the W in their last 9 straight. Kyle Filipowski, he's snagging nearly double-digit rebounds a game. He also leads the team in points. Meanwhile, Derek Whitehead, he's averaging nearly double-digit points a game himself. And he also drills 41% of his long balls. Now they're facing an Oral Roberts team on the other side who's been real bad against the point spread here lately. Out of their last 9 ball games, the Golden Eagles failed to cover 8 times. When it comes to defensive play, this is actually one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the tournament. Now, total-wise, Oral Roberts saw overs against the likes of North Dakota and Western Illinois. Meanwhile, Duke saw 4 out of their last 7 get over the total themselves. Give me Duke minus 5.5 over 145. And with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into our quick pick recap. Give me West Virginia minus 3 under 137. Virginia Cavaliers minus 5 under 132. I'm 16-2 in my last 18 board member tier package bets on my website. And if you want to see a video breakdown of every single one of my personal plays here today, there's only one way to do that, and that's to join my full access, all-inclusive board member package on patreon.com/BrockPage. Give me Utah State minus 1 over 155.5. Kansas Jayhawks minus 22 under 146. Alabama Crimson Tide minus 24 over 154. College of Charleston plus 5 under 142. Princeton plus 15 under 154. Illinois plus 2 under 144.5. Iowa Hawkeyes plus 2 over 151. Duke minus 5.5 over 145. Colgate plus 14 under 151. Boise State plus 2 under 128. Houston Cougars minus 18 under 122. Louisiana plus 11 under 136. Texas A&M minus 2 under 135. With my next and final free pick, give me UCLA minus 17 under 136.